Hi and welcome to my channel. My name is Magnus, and today we're going to talk about deployment options for Checkpoint. There's actually a few ways to deploy Checkpoint, and the first way is the standalone, meaning you have everything on the same box, the firewall, the management and everything. And the second way is to have a distributed system where you have the security gateway, meaning the firewall, and management server installed on different boxes. And yes, you're aware of it, the smart console still need to be installed on a separate machine. So there is no web GUI to manage the rule base itself directly on the management station. And that's it for the certification questions. Now it's time for the real world instead. Well, first of all, always build distributed, meaning always have separate boxes for your firewall and management station. And when it comes to firewalls, always build it in clusters. And there is different type of clusterings depending on your need. HA, load sharing, VSX with VSLS, and even Maestro. Maybe Maestro isn't a clustering technology, it's more of a load sharing with really high performance. VSX is for virtual firewalls, so that's a different ball game, but it's something that I run myself and I think it's very good. VSLS is load sharing between cluster nodes, and I have a different video regarding VSX, and that's not really part of the CCSA and not even part of the CCSE. When it comes to the management station, I recommend you to always install it virtually. It gives a lot more scalability and flexibility. The management license is not based on cores or memory, it's built on how many gateways you should be able to manage. So try to take as big box as you possibly can. And whenever possible, split out the functions from your management servers to different boxes. Most of the functions actually requires different licenses, so this is something that you can do when you grow. First of all, when you, for example, start to do identity awareness, well, install the identity collector on a different server. That will give you more options. That will give you the possibility to filter users based on IP addresses, group, etc. That possibility you don't have in the normal management station. And you can actually get identities from more sources, such as Cisco ISE. And when you grow even bigger in your management station or in your environment, well, then it's time to add a log server. You can have multiple log servers. You can have 4, 5, whatever. You need a license for each log server. But this is something that you need to have if you have large environments. And maybe you want to have some more correlation. Well, you can install the smart event on the log server, but I prefer to have it on a separate box. So you see that it grows quite fast when it comes to boxes. There is a lot of scalability and flexibility within this solution. You can distribute the load over many boxes, and you can really dedicate a box for a specific function. There's actually more management servers as well. You can have endpoints. Endpoint is if you want to control like full disk encryption on your clients and so on. I did a mistake to install the endpoint management server on my normal management server. I regret that because it gave a lot of hassle. We actually needed to split it, and that's something that I don't want to do again. Keep in mind that you normally don't need all this if you're only running one firewall cluster, then you need to have a huge amount of traffic within that firewall. This is based so you can have hundreds of firewalls on the same management station. If you for some reason need multiple management stations, maybe you should consider MDS. And MDS is virtualizations within the management station. You can still run it on a virtual platform like VMware, and then Checkpoint can add virtualization within that to give small portions of a new management station. This is not part of CCSA and not part of CCSE as well. So this is a completely different one, more or less built for very large environments or for service providers. So this is the requirements for the open servers, and these requirements apply for virtualized environments as well. If you're planning to run it in a virtualized environment, you need to check the hardware compatibility list and check that your virtualization engine is supported by Checkpoint. So if we check for like a security management server, that's your management server. The requirements is 2 cores and 8 gigs of RAM. I would advise you to have 4 cores and 16 gigs RAM instead. And as you see here, the above numbers do not apply for the smart event and log. When it comes to disk space on a management station, I would try to go for minimum 1 terabyte. if you have a lot of logs, well, consider to add an additional log server. And if you add an additional log server, then this will be the minimum requirement as well. 2 CPUs and 8 gigs of RAM, and I would go for the 1 terabyte of disk as well. When it comes to the supported memory, you see here that the maximum is 512 gigs for a multi-domain or even a management station. Meaning these boxes, they can go quite large and they can be made to handle a lot of gateways. So this is really the minimum that you should have. And my recommendation is to go 4 and 16. So I wouldn't go for such a small box. I would go for something larger. If we see here for the requirements, we see here logging requirements. The logs can be stored on a security management server that collects logs from the security gateway. And this is the default one. A log server on a dedicated machine, this is recommended for organization that generates many logs. So that's it for this video. Please like and share, and consider to subscribe to the channel. And I hope to see you in the next one. Take care.